There it is. It's a bit of a special tonight. It's chart toppers of the 70s. Drummers of chart toppers in the 1970s.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the mighty Donald George Powell, but we've got Mr. Fletcher from, and I hope I'm saying this right. I know Staveley Makepeace, but Lieutenant Pigeon.
That's correct. Yes.
Right.
Good man. off you go. Just have a chat.
Yeah. So, what was the last time we met, Nigel? Was it 82 in Abbey Road?
No, I saw you in 2002 at what was it? In the BBC when we did that thing with all the number ones, 50 years of number one.
But no, was that the one at Abbey Road? Nigel.
Yeah. When did you first meet?
We've known each other forever, me and Don. But here's a funny thing. When we were talking on the email the other week, we found out that both Don and myself were quite rarities because Top of the Pops only usually had chart entries. Do you remember they only had chart entries in those?
Yeah.
But both Don and I were booked with bands with new releases that weren't in the charts. Every now and again, Top of the Pops put a new band or a new record on.
Yeah, there was always one slot, wasn't there, when there was a new release?
That's right. And you were on with Slade in April 1970, and your record bombed. We were on in July 1970 with Staveley Makepeace, and our record bombed.
But you were on with Staveley Makepeace then, were you, Nigel?
Yes.
Wow.
July.
I'm just trying to think what record that would have been of ours in 1970.
Was it Shape of Things to Come?
But I thought that was before. It might have been there. I thought that was before.
I should know this. I should just wheel, but some expert will moan at me and tell me.
Yeah, that's it. Somebody will come up and put it right.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just sent me a book with all the details in. That's how I found out. I knew we were on. And Don was telling me his Shape of Things to Come, was it?
Was it that one? I thought it was before. It might have been. It possibly. I thought it was the year before, 69. But you're possibly right, Nigel. It would have been Shape of.
According to the book, it was April 1970 when you were on.
It probably was Shape of Things to Come then.
And like our record, it did nothing, which is sad, but that's unusual. You know, most of the acts that got on were already in the charts, so it was a nice break for us. Do you remember how you felt when you first went on Top of the Pops?
Oh, it's fantastic. I'll tell you what I did. I stood in the studio all day watching how everything was done. You know, when you normally do your part just as in the morning, depending what call you got, and then you had a break till 3 o'clock when then they did a dress rehearsal and then recorded the show about 7:30 in the evening. I remember standing in the studio. I think we had the first call, which was 10:30, I think, and I remember standing in the studio all day, all afternoon, just watching all the acts, like rehearse and everything. Now, I wish I could remember who was on now, who we watched, but of course we were watching Pants People rehearse as well, so that was always a bit of a novelty, especially like Babs from Wolverhampton. The dancer. And she married the actor Robert Powell. The actor Robert Powell. That's right. She married him. But now it was exciting times. I mean, when you saw Top of the Pops, it was a bit of a dump, wasn't it? The actual studio.
Studio 8. Studio 8. I remember.
It was a bit of a rundown place. It was. But it was great. I mean, I remember having to keep on running out the way of the cameras moving around, especially the ones on the boom. But it was exciting days, though, wasn't it, Nigel?
Oh, they were wonderful days. My biggest memory of that day was I arrived there, and I know Aretha Franklin was on, Cat Stevens with us, and all these big stars. And I don't know about you, but I walked in and I thought, what am I doing here?
I know, yeah. Well, who are we? Yeah, I know. We felt exactly the same. We didn't know where to go or who to speak to or what, anything like that. I tell you what I do remember, though, and I don't know whether you do as well, the canteen upstairs. I mean, you could get a fantastic meal for like peanuts. You know what I mean? You sort of
Yes.
like such little money, sort of fantastic. And you see all these well-known people up there, either sort of doing either some of the soap operas or so sort of like different actors there queuing up with everybody else with their trays, like school dinners, trying to get something to eat. But I remember, I just reminded me when we did, we used to do Lift Off. That was done in Manchester. And
yes.
You'd see all the Coronation Street cast at the in the canteen as well. Of course, like Enid Sharples, who was the queen of the street, she was pushing everybody out the way, so she got to the front of the queue, sort of. And I remember seeing Albert Tatlock. I remember when we left the afternoon, Albert Tatlock was by the bus stop. He probably had his bus pass,
Yeah, incredible. I can remember a similar thing going upstairs to the canteen, and there was I stood in the queue with my tray, and there was this tall guy next to me. I didn't look at him, but as soon as I heard his voice, I recognized. I looked up, and it was that Richard Wattis, the actor, right next to me, and it was quite.
It was
surreal.
Warsaw. Richard Wattis was from Warsaw, Black Country.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. He changed his accent slightly, but he was a Black Country bloke.
Oh, I'd say.
Oh, how about that? Yeah.
But, small world.
But then the next time that we did Top of the Pops was when we'd had this breakaway in Lieutenant Pigeon, and that by the second time I did it, the first time I did it, I watched the playback as you do the next night. And you always look at yourself, and I just kept saying, for God's sake, smile.
Yeah.
I looked so serious.
But I think I was the same, Nigel. Yeah. I think boredom was the word. I think because you've been there all day, sort of thing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I always remember going, trying to get in the bar afterwards. There's the bar upstairs in one of the I think it was on the top floor. Of course, like the doorman, they always vetted you, but all they wanted was for you to buy them a pint, and they would let you in. You could see like pints of beer on all the tables outside. They had to use like it's a bit like a power mat thing, Well, who are you? I know. I don't know whether I should have let you in or not. I don't know whether you're able to go in, but then you promised to buy them a pint, and you were in straight away.
Yeah. But I know the second time we're in the charts with Mouldy Old Joe the second time, and I did feel a lot more relaxed on the second time there.
Yeah, well, you do,
I wasn't so nervous, and and suddenly you realize that everyone who goes there for the first time feels like an outsider, but then you suddenly think they're just ordinary blokes like you and I.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you think about it, I mean, in those days, I remember that was the show. That was the real powerful plug. That was, you get on Top of the Pops. That was it. To get on there was amazing. And I remember at the times we were on, got to be friends with all the camera guys. Got to know them all, and all the studio sort of techs and all that kind of thing. Really good, good time. Good times.
They were great times when you look back.
Do you remember the dressing rooms downstairs? I mean, the BBC, Chris, in Shepherd's was like a massive corridors. It's a massive place, and like I remember, we got the keys to our dressing room, and it happened to be on the same floor with Ross Stewart and the Faces, because they were number one with Maggie May. they were playing football in the corridor. I thought, wow, that's big time, you know, sort of thing. Yeah, because I remember because we had "Cause I Love You" and "Cause I Love You" knocked Maggie May off #1.
Oh yeah. Oh, what a great record.
Yeah, good time. That was 1971. That was, Nigel.
Yeah.
But
yes.
I didn't realize, you know, the email that you sent me, and like left in like Moldy Old Dog was #1 in 8 countries, wasn't it, you say?
Yeah, it went all around the world. I still don't believe it.
Did it do anything in America? Did anything in America?
Not the United States, Canada, but not the United States.
Oh, right, okay. I mean, we did nothing in the States in the 70s, nothing at all.
No,
nothing at all.
The record came out in February 1972, and it was like just a sideline. It was not our main band. It was just me and Rob and Steve doing a sideline thing. And
well, you had the studio in the front room at Rob's mom's one, is?
Yeah, you came in there. I remember you hammering my drums in there.
Yeah.
But we built our own little home studio in Rob's house, and we had all these novelty things about. Stavely Makepeace was our main thing, but we thought if we have a little sideline for the novelty stuff, and we managed to do 6 titles, and Decca took this Moldy Old Dough, and it was just a throwaway thing, and it died its death. It got 1 play on Radio 1. Remember, they had a program called What's New.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it got 1 play, and then that was it. And we forgot about it. But what happened then, a Belgian television company picked it up, and they were using it as a theme tune for a weekly magazine.
Okay.
That's why it was a hit. And then when Decca saw the potential, they started buying the airplay on Radio Luxembourg.
Oh,
and you know,
3
plays a night for 6 weeks, and there you're off.
That's it, and that's if you could hear it, if you could tune into it properly. I remember late at night, because we had the Powell player they used to have on Radio Luxembourg. And you used to have to, like, the station kept on drifting in and out, Chris. You know, you can never keep it in tune, sort of thing. I remember sitting downstairs after Mom and Dad and all the family had gone to bed, listening to radio, and of course, like every time we came on, it faded out. You know, it disappeared. We actually went to Luxembourg. There was a big festival there with all bands, you know, sort of thing, and it was great. You know, great being there. You know, that was the play. I mean, that was the station at the time, wasn't it? When you think about it, it was fantastic.
The very last gig we ever did with Lieutenant Pigeon was in September 1978 in Luxembourg.
Really?
That was the last time. Yeah, but Hilda was, she was getting old then. She was, you know, almost as old as we are now.
Yeah, right. I know.
And she was getting tired, so we said we'd have a break. And that was it. We never got back together after that. Sad, really, but that's life.
Well, good memories though, eh, Nigel?
Weren't they great? And this is your 50th anniversary, isn't it? Of Course I Love You.
Yeah, that's why we Chris has got all this together, you know, and we've been doing a lot of these, haven't we, Chris? We're doing quite a few.
We have every couple of weeks. They're proving quite popular. We've had some good guests on, yourself included. Francis Rossi was the last one. You're following on from Francis Rossi.
It's great.
No, so it's been really popular. Chris has got a great thing going, and it's proved to be, like Chris said, it's proved to be really popular. You know,
good.
It's great, you know, because like now we've got yourself on, and you know, sort of we're just thinking of different names to sort of go with, you know, sort of thing. So
there's no structure to them either, is there, Don? They sort of start and finish, and there's something in the middle. You know, it's we just make it up basically.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
It's good.
That's the best way. Are you going to put anything out to celebrate your 50th anniversary?
Well, I don't think it's anything special, but BMG, who bought all our catalogue, they've been putting things out under different guises, like a coloured disc and things like that, So, is there anything planned, Chris?
There's the announcement. Here we go. There's the announcement tomorrow of Slade in Flame on the splatter disc. Do you know splatter discs, Nigel? Have you seen those, the coloured things?
Yes, yes.
What you used to do when you were a kid, on your mum and dad's 78, if they let you, they put some paint on it and it could just splatter them.
Yeah.
That's coming out. Old New Borden Blues coming out, and Slade Alive's coming out.
Right.
Slade came out, the one you've got came
lovely.
out. So they're all doing that. But Don's got sort of new projects coming out anyway. Various the Don Powell band. So Don's still busy.
Yeah, it's been good. Because I made now things have changed, Nigel. There's some, because of this Corona thing, I haven't been able to travel out of the country, And my mates in Denmark, in England, have been recording like bass, guitar, and vocals, sending the files to a studio over here that I use. I go along and put the drums on and send it back, sort of thing. But I mean, it's not the same as all being together in the studio. But I mean, but it's at least it's something, sort of thing. So, and I've been recording with some Danish musicians over here as well, which is quite good.
I must congratulate you on that. Let They Be Drums. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to do that for years, Nigel. I did record it back in the 80s, And do you remember Jonah Louis? Yeah, Don't Stop the Cavalry.
John Lewis.
Yeah, Jonah Louis, and Don't Stop the Cavalry, and you'll always find me in the kitchen at parties. Well, he's got this fantastic 48-track studio in his house. He's got a massive house down in Streatham, South London. And he invited me down, and we went, and that's where I recorded. That's where I recorded all the drums and everything. And then when I was with the Don Powell band, and Craig, our bass player, who's been a mate for many years, and he mentioned about doing Let There Be Drums. I said, I've actually got the drums recorded, that I did years ago.
Brilliant.
And then what we did was, we invited all guest people to add their little bits as well, So we got Brian Benny from the Shadows to do something, So no, it was all for charity. We did it all for charity, sort of thing. But it didn't do too bad, really. And
it's a brilliant. It's a brilliant record, Don.
I've been releasing a few singles here and there, so I'm still keeping pretty busy, which is quite nice,
Yeah, me too. I must tell you a quick story. You've reminded me of something. Do you remember your 40th birthday party?
Oh, it's yes, in Harley House in London. Yeah, when you came down, it was a surprise.
Who was in the kitchen talking to me at a party?
Was that Jonah Louis?
Yes.
Yeah, how apt. Yeah. What a nice guy, though, eh?
Yeah, smashing it. And he told me his real name is John Lewis.
Yeah. So I thought, not that one, I don't think. But I saw him. It's been a few years ago now. He was doing some charity thing, and I just went along and just sort of played some drums over there. I must find out about that. Ask him about it. What happened to it? Because I think it was the original guitarist with Mud who had arranged it all. And I was trying to find out about that, see what happened about it, but back to that party at Abbey Road, EMI, that Abbey Road thing, that was quite good, that one, and so if you remember right, there was no cameras allowed in there.
That's right.
But the girlfriend at the time, she got a camera in a handbag.
Carol.
I got a camera in a handbag, and Paul and Linda McCartney were there, and I went over to Linda and I says, Linda, could I have my photograph taken with Paul? And she said, who's got the camera? You know, because the cameras weren't allowed in there. She says, my girlfriend's got one in a handbag. He said, give me the camera and I'll take the photograph. And she took a photograph of me and Paul. And then Carol took one of, did she do the one of me and you? She must have done, because that was the only
Somebody did.
He must be the only camera that was there, and then she took one of me, and I've got it up on the wall here. Me, Paul, and Linda. It's a bit sort of dark because it was a quick thing, you know, because of no cameras being allowed. Otherwise, you get kicked out. Well, she would have got kicked out, not me. But it was quite a good night.
You know, there was a camera there. It was an early video camera, right? And years later, I saw a copy of that.
Really?
Yeah, there's a video of that night. It's not as, yes. And I tell you what, somebody gave me, remember the Joe Rice, Tim Rice's brother?
Oh, right.
He worked with a friend of mine and he got me a copy of it. So I'll have to, it's not great quality, but I'll send you a copy of that.
Okay.
I'll put it on DVD.
Okay, that'll be good. Now I've got a photograph here of me, Paul, and Linda up there, and she was great. And remember, they were showing all the videos of all the bands, all the number ones they had the big screen on the wall, and they were showing all the videos. I remember watching Paul. He watched every Beatles video that was up there. He stood there and watched every Beatles video, you know. But
I saw that.
It was a good night. That was, wasn't it? Because I think
brilliant night.
You went back to Coventry that night, didn't you, Nigel?
You know what? I was so drunk, I don't remember where I went.
But that was it. I mean, it was like sort of, I think was it only wine that was there? I remember always going up and asking, can I have 2 large glasses of white wine, please? Because one's for my friend, but they're both for me, saying you keep on going backwards and forwards. You know? I just said, one's for my friend, who's on it, so I can have 2 large glasses, please. Yeah. But
everything was free.
Yeah, it was a good night, though. I remember, funny you've talked about that, we were the worst at that, Slade. I mean, we were always first at the party and last to leave, you know, sort of thing. I remember we've been in the States, we've been touring with 10 years after, and we got really friendly with them. And sort of Rick, the drummer, we still keep in touch, like, you know, like me and you. And I'm trying to get him, I want to get him next on the show, you know, like on what we're doing now. Anyway, we'd done a few dates with 10 years after. And at the end of those shows, they were doing the big football stadium in New York, Roosevelt Stadium, supporting Rod Stewart and the Faces. So, and they said, well, you know, we'll get you passes, you know, and all that kind of thing. You've never seen anything like this, Chris. It was all the backstage area. It was a football stadium, so I can imagine how big the backstage. And there must have been about 5 big, massive barbecues going, all these bar tents. We never bothered watching the show. We just ate and drank ourselves silly, you know, sort of thing. You know, sort of usual there.
As we did in those days.
We weren't making much money in the States, so we thought, right, this is it. Just stop stuffing food in our bags and things like that, you know, to take back to the hotel. And that was, yeah, and I'm going to contact Rick, the original drummer 10 years after, and get him on to do one of these. I must tell you, it was, you know, really, it's like me and you, the way we talk. It was because they had a fantastic show at Woodstock. Yeah, they were on Woodstock. And he was telling us how they got that. He says they were on this American tour. He said they had a week off in New York, and their agent is a guy named Frank Barcelona. It was our agent as well in America. And he said, listen, you know, to Rick, said, there's this festival going on upstate New York. He said, it's not much money. He says, they're expecting about 30,000. He said, there's a fantastic bill on, you know. He said, and you got nothing on. Do you want to do it? Yeah, we'll do it. I mean, 250,000 people turned up. You know, he tended up a free concert. But when you think, I mean, you probably know yourself, Chris, as well, that the bill that they had was like Hendrix, The Who, Joe Cocker. I mean, all these massive massive acts, you know, but names that they had on, and
Yeah.
like I said, there was 250,000 people. I think he said nobody got paid because he'd ended up total chaos. And in the end, I think it ended up a free concert because people just broke the fences down and just got through, you know. But it's you know, so it's great when I like watching. I've got a DVD, The Making of Woodstock, and it was great. I mean, but it's incredible how this guy got the acts that he got was amazing, really. Like I said, the Who, Joe Cocker, 10 years after, you know, all the Sly and the Family Stone, all these massive acts, you know. So I don't think anybody got paid, but I think. But as
No one
as it was then, but I think
nobody can ever take those memories away, eh, Don?
No, but like Rick said, he said the film. But he said he took us like on a different level in America. You know, the popularity. I mean, when we toured with them 10 years after, we were playing massive stadiums, you know, massive arenas, you know. And like Rick said, that's because of the film.
Yeah,
you know, the film became so big, you know, and as well, he was saying, Rick, and that's right, I've got this DVD of The Making of Woodstock, and the stage is really low. On the actual film, it looks massive, so it wasn't. It was really low. Because, like I said, they weren't expecting, you know, it to be what happened, you know, and so, like he said, it was total chaos in the end. I mean, like I said, everybody broke the fences down, and it ended up a free concert. You know,
wonderful days.
Here's a question. Sorry to interrupt. Here's a question, totally out of the blue. Slade and Staveley Makepeace. What's the connection?
Well, we're based in Coventry and they're based in Wolverhampton. I suppose that was
No,
the West Midlands.
no, it's not that. Barn Records.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Barn.
Remember, Nigel, you played me that classic cover you did.
Yes.
What was it
now? It was yeah. Oh God, my memory's gone. Yeah, that was in the late 70s.
You had Coconut Shuffle and No Regrets. How did you get
No Regrets? That was what I found. Remember you sent it to me, Nigel, and I freaked when I heard it. And I took it to Chaz, and there's a guy named Mike Hales who was manager of the company, and I played through, and he freaked out about it, you know, and that's when I gave him your phone number and all the details, and that's when they released it, didn't they? But nothing came of it, did they?
No, we didn't. We never got any airplay, but Chaz was wonderful.
I'll tell you, I can say it now. I think if that would have been with a big company, it would have done something. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I think, you know, with a big company with proper distribution and proper plug-in, if you know what I mean, sort of a promotion. You know, I think it would. I still think it would have done something.
Oh yeah, but do you remember when we did that thing in 2002 at the TV Centre, the celebration of all the big hits, and we were talking. Do you remember we were talking to Adam Faith?
No, carry on.
Well, he was with us. He was in our little group, and afterwards, Adam Faith said to me, he said he thought that there were probably 30, 40, 50, or maybe 100 potential number ones every week that no one ever hears. And that, I think, sums it up. And they're out there, but if you don't get airplay, you're dead in the water.
Yeah, I know it is. I mean, as it was then, I mean, it was the worst thing in the world trying to get a Radio 1 as it was then. You know, well, when you think of the amount of releases every week, and you got to try and get yours on there. You know, I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't know what it's like these days, but
well, I'm hoping we get some sort of airplay. We're doing a tribute to our 50 years since Mouldy Old Dough. We've done a thing called All for One and One for All. Oh, I sent you a copy. It's a piano piece. It's by today's standard, it's twee. But it's different and it stands out. So we're putting it out.
Oh, yeah, good luck to you. But I like on your book, Nigel, you sent me the one that very often me and you at that number one's party, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was at the number one's party.
Oh, if you read, there's quite a. we had that book out 20 years ago, but there's a lot about you in it.
I'll just have to read. I only came. I just have to read it, you know, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean,
I told the. I hope you don't mind, but I told the story about the time when you stayed at my house, and do you remember you used to write a diary every day?
Yeah, I've still got the diaries.
Yeah, and you wrote in it. You showed me. You wrote that Nigel's house has got 2 taps upstairs. One's marked hot and the other's marked hot.
I just have to have a look at that and find out again. Yeah,
I never changed. They were there till the day I left that house.
Really? But
Yeah.
Jack, I noticed the address on the when you sent the book. That's not the address that I remember. You know.
No,
but, yeah.
I moved to this little village called Bulkington in north. It's north of Coventry, and it's a lot quieter. Where I lived was too close to the centre of Coventry, so I moved.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, lovely memories, though, Nigel.
Oh, well, you must come over. Come over and see the new place.
The same here, mate. You know, sort of. Yeah. But now it's lovely memories.
We've got. I'm going to. We got a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
So what I'll do, I'll end it, and we can carry on talking, but it won't be recorded. So I'll say thank you, if that's okay. Thank you, Nigel. Excellent. Thank you, Don. Brilliant as ever.
Yeah, it's always great, Chris. And it's great to see you, Nigel, mate.
Yeah. So, and you, Don.